Welcome back, students. I am your SST teacher Vandana Joshi and you are watching SST June. Students, today we will study a new topic under the chapter Women, Caste and the Reforms. And our today's topic is caste and the social reforms. Previous video we have studied about women's discrimination, and we know that in the past there were many kind of discrimination. Out of them, one more discrimination was there, that was known as the caste system. So students, the caste system which had existed in India since ancient time had divided in society into high caste and the low caste system. In Hindu society, the Brahmins were the most privileged caste, as they were known as the high caste or the supreme caste, and the society was divided into four castes, that is known as the Brahmins, Kshatriyas or Rajputas, and Vaishyas or Baniyas, and Shudras or the Dalitas. Brahmins were more privileged caste, while the outcasts were the most underprivileged. In the subsequent years, members belonging to the higher caste began ill-treating people belonging to lower caste people. And gradually, it became a kind of discrimination. Means the upper caste peoples were discriminating to the lower caste people. In the society, the discrimination was so much in high level. Lower caste had to bear a lot of restriction, means they are not allowed to enter temples or draw water from the common wells. Yes, they were restricted in all the common areas. So they were also known as the untouchables. And there was a total injustice with the untouchables. So after facing the discrimination, the poor people decided to leave their native place in search of some good opportunities. Few were migrated to big cities and few to another country in search of jobs and respects. There were many arguments were given by the reformers against the caste system. So as I told you, there were few arguments which were given by the reformers. So let's see what were the arguments against the caste system. So first of all, the argument was given by the reformers, that was the lack of unity. There was no unity in between the untouchable peoples. So that was also a reason behind the caste system, that conversion of the other religions. The many religions were also there due to the caste system was in the high level. And then after that, no personal growth. There was no growth in the caste system, as they were belonging from the community. Those were doing their artisan and the craftsperson's work, and they were not improving themselves. So it was also a reason behind that. Anti-democratic. They were not a democratic persons. And then after that, the narrow outlook. In the narrow outlook, the society was not having a broad-minded view to see the untouchables or the Dalits as compared to them. So that these are few points through which the reformers started to reform for the low caste, or we can say the untouchable peoples. Now let's see how the different reformers contributed in the social reforms for the caste discrimination. With the spread of modern education, Many social and religious reformers came forward to remove the evil of caste system prevailing in the society. So at very first, a Dalit movement was started by the father of Bhimrao Ambedkar, who belongs to the Mahar caste. Then later, by the second half of the 19th century, a movement was started against under the demand of equality and justice by Narayan Guru. So now let's see what were the demands and how Narayan Guru started the reforms in the favor of the untouchable and the lower caste people. Narayan Guru was a great saint and the social reformer. He was born in a Java community which faced many social injustice. He proclaimed the ideas of unity of all people within one sect, a single caste, and one guru. To promote his ideas, he founded a spiritual organization called Narayan Dharma Prajapalana Yogam. He founded an ashram at Aluva in the year 1913, which was called the Advaita Ashram. He also started a Sanskrit school where children of all castes were given education. He did not differentiate between people on the basis of their religion, caste, colors, or beliefs. After that, another voice was raised by Jyotirao Phule, the leader of low caste. He was a great reformer and advocate of the cause of oppressive section of society. He was born in a low caste Mali family and studied in the Christian missionary school. He and his wife Savitri Phule were pioneer of women's education too. They fought for the right of the lower caste. Jyotiba Phule was highly inspired by Thomas Paine's book Right of Men. In 1873, he wrote a book for the slavery named Gulamgiri, in which he has mentioned about the slave untouchables or the low caste people. The work was dedicated to all those Americans who had fought to free slaves in their country, linking the condition of black slave to the lower caste in India. Along with his wife, Jyotirao Phule began a school for girls in 1848. Later, he began schools for the lower caste, followed by an orphanage for children and widows. He struggled relentlessly to get justice for the lower caste. In 1873, he founded a social organization called Satya Shodhak Samaj, whose membership was open to people of all religions. The main aim of this association was to liberate the Shudras. He wanted to eliminate the stigma of untouchability from Indian society. He wanted to establish a society based on equality, liberty, and fraternity. Students, this movement for caste system was continued in the 20th century by B.R. Ambedkar and E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, who was also known as the Periyar. So let's see about it. So first we will see about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar was born on 14th of April 1891 at Mahua. He belonged to the Mahar caste and as a child had to tolerate a lot of injustice. As a student, he was made to sit outside the class and was not allowed to drink water from the same tap as the upper caste children. He wanted to end untouchability, caste discrimination, and the exploitation of the untouchable. Dr. Ambedkar established Bahishkrit Hitkarni Sabha or Depressed Classes Welfare Association in 1924 in Bombay for the moral and material progress of the untouchable. He published several journals to spread his message of social reform. He refused to perform the traditional caste duties. To achieve his aims, he organized the All India Depressed Class Federation. The temple entry movement, launched by Dr. Ambedkar in 1930 at Kalaram Temple, Nasik. In another landmark is the struggle for human rights and the social justice. He also established the Samaj Samata Sangh to propagate equality between upper caste and the Dalits. In 1930, he entered in the politics and brought the depressed classes into the national movement against the British with other leaders like Babu Jagjeevan Ram. They encouraged these peoples to fight against any injustice to them. He attended the Round Table Conference and demanded strongly the policies for the upliftment of the downtrodden. Now let's see about E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. He is also known as Periyar. Periyar was born in Madras in 1879 in a high caste Naikar family. He was theist, but he became an atheist and non-believer when he turned 28. He was staunchly against the caste system in the Hindu society. He shared the grief of the low caste people as they had been treated as untouchable since many centuries. Periyar wanted social reforms to occur first, even before political independence. He set up an organization, Dravidar Kajagam. He also fought for the reservation of posts in government jobs for the low caste people. He undertook agitations for this, and the first amendment to the Constitution of India was undertaken as a result of agitation. He even advocated marriage ceremonies without any priest. He once said, "The caste system that teaches notions of superiority, inferiority, high and low should be stuck at the very foundation." The goals of Periyar's were accelerated, but he enjoyed limited support because he often spat out blasphemous speeches against Hinduism and Brahmins. Students, out of these reformers, there were many reformers as Swami Vivekananda, who founded Swami Ramakrishna Mission for the caste removing system, and our Bapu Mahatma Gandhi were also started a reform against the caste system. So now let's see the contribution of Swami Vivekananda about the caste and the social reforms. Swami Vivekananda was a great scholar. He was an ardent disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhansa. He was against superstitions and the other custom. He believed that all people were equal and opposed discrimination based on caste and religion. According to him, it is not the caste of a man that mattered, but his inherent. No religious text advocates the caste system. In 1898, he established the Ramakrishna myth at Belur. This was opened to all people without any distinction of religion, race, or caste. He wanted the spread of education to the masses, both men and women. He wanted the caste system to be based on a person's quality. He emphasized on technical education and also on learning Sanskrit. He strongly opposed the
practice of untouchability. Now let's see about Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was much pained to see the unfair division created by the caste system and untouchability in particular. He desired abolition of all types of inequalities based upon birth, caste, creed, wealth, etc. He worked for the upliftment of the untouchables, whom he called children of God. He started the publication of a weekly paper, Harijan, which was published in English and Hindi. He also founded the Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat in 1916. People of all castes and religions were welcome to join the ashram. He also made tours in different parts of the country to spread the message of equality. One more famous reformer during that time was Ghasidas, who worked among the leather workers and organized a movement to improve their social status in eastern Bengal. He founded the Satnami movement in central India. Haridas Thakur also done work among the Chandala cultivators.
So now, after that, what were the implication of the work progress of social reformers? So let's see what were the implications. So here we can say the religious and the social reform played a key role in 18th century, and here are some implication of that. As we know, many laws were passed. So some important points are there in that. In 1829, sati was banned. The sati pratha was totally banned in 1829. Then after that, in 1843, the slavery or the gulami was declared as illegal in all the parts of the world as well. Then after that, in 1856, the Widow Remarriage Act was passed or made legal. Then after that, in 1929, Sharda Act was passed, in which the marriageable age of the girl child was 14 years, and the marriageable age for the boys is the 18 year. So those were less than that age, they were not able to do the marry, as it was known as the child marriage. So those were above that age, they were only eligible for the marriage. Out of them, then many reformers have started many kind of protest, and due to their reforms and their steps, the civility and the condition of women was improved, and due to that the government has also passed many laws. If you have studied in your civics book, that is chapter 7, understanding marginalization, in which the government has passed many laws and the reservation for the marginalized people and the minority people.
Apart from the implications, there were many organizations which were done for the reform. So first of all, the Brahmo Samaj, which was formed in 1830 and formed by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, in which Keshav Chandra Sen was one of the main leader of the Brahmo Samaj. As already I told you about Swami Vivekananda, so the organization which was founded by Swami Vivekananda was known as the Ramakrishna Mission. Then one more foundation was done in Maharashtra, Bombay, and it was founded by Mahadev Govind Ranade and R.G. Bhandarkar. The name of that foundation is the Prarthana Samaj, which was started in 1867, and it was opposed social evils like sati, child marriage, and promoted the causes of female education and widow remarriage. The Veda Samaj is also a kind of formation which was established in Madras in 1864. Especially, it was inspired by the Brahma Samaj. And then after that, one movement was started in Aligarh, which was started by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in 1875. Later, it was changed into Aligarh Muslim University, and it is also for the education. Then later, one more reform or movement was started or organized by the Sikhs. This movement was known as the Singh Sahab movement, and first Singh Sahab were formed at Amritsar in 1873 and at Lahore in 1879. The Sabhas sought to rid Sikhism of superstitions, caste distinction, and practices seen by them as non-Sikh.
So here we can see that government also want to improve the condition of the people, those are backward or those were not developed. So students, here our chapter Women's Caste and the Reforms is completed. Hope you understood it. We will come back with a new chapter in our next video. So for that, keep watching SST Zone.